Mark Adajar, one of the surgeons and hormone specialists at XSculpt, and I wanted to make this video today talking about our SculpSure service. We get a lot of questions on it, and I wanted to just go over some of the basics about it. So hopefully, if this is something appealing to you, you'll come on in for an evaluation. I'm here at our location downtown Chicago. If you want to come visit us here, and we have a location in Evanston, which we also provide the service. Okay, so that being said, here is the SculpSure machine. What SculpSure is basically it's a non-invasive way of doing fat destruction, or what we call lipodestruction of fat cells. It's an alternative, a non-invasive alternative to traditional liposuction via surgery. This is you may have heard of CoolSculpting. This is kind of like the next generation technology. It's a later, more recent technology compared to CoolSculpting, which freezes the fat. SculpSure melts the fat. The way this works is that here's the machine, okay? Here's the machine, and there are these, what we call these applicators, these 4 applicators. So when you come in, you sit in this chair. We have these applicators like this. There's usually a plastic that goes on it, and then these attached to a belt. And basically what happens is, depending upon the area you want treated, it sets on these four sets on the area that you want treated. Usually like either the kind of like the love handle areas in men, and the flanks. Some women get their thighs done, or arms. Whatever area that has fat in it can be targeted. So what happens is once you lay down on this bed, we apply the applicators and start your treatment. It's a 25-minute treatment with what we call cycles. So what happens is once you set these applicators on and we turn on the machine, it starts out with a cooling session where it cools the skin, and then after about a minute, it starts to heat up the fat below the skin level with the laser. The reason why why the machine does a cool session is so your skin doesn't get too hot or burn while the underlying fat is melted. And then it goes through a bunch of cycles over 25 minutes to allow the maximal melting of fat. So what happens is when you sit down here and you put these applicators on, the technician or the assistant will ask you, how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 4. We want you to be at 4 because that's the destruction zone where it's really hot, but not hot enough to hurt, but to be very uncomfortable so that the fat is melted. So you're kind of worked up to get to that level 4. Or the zone 4, which can be quite uncomfortable. It means it's working, but it's not to a point where it's actually damaging. And so so basically you hang out for 25 minutes as it goes through this cooling, heating cycle. You will come to love the cooling cycle and hate the heating cycle, but that's how this technology works. And then after it's all done, basically you walk out and you go home. You drink a lot of water to help flush out your system, because what happens is once this fat is melted, your body will excrete the melted fat through your lymphatics. So drinking plenty of water is important. You can massage the area during the shower, just rub the area so there's no collection of fluid or anything like that, and then a collection of melted fat or anything like that stays in the area. But otherwise, you can go back to full unrestricted activity, immediately, without any problems. So that's the SculpSure machine. I'm going to do another video shortly on the pluses and minuses of SculpSure in general. But if hopefully this may answer some of your questions, and if you have further questions, send me a comment or in the question in the comment section below, and I will get to it as soon as possible. So hopefully we see you soon. Great, thanks.